What's up, everybody? Damon here, and in today's gaming news, PS5 is doing even better than the PS4, but Xbox Series X is doing much worse than the Xbox One. Plus, there's a big new patch for Palworld, and before the MCU, there was almost an MGU. This is your Daily Fix. Here in the United States, the PlayStation 5 is still outpacing its predecessor, the PS4, but the Xbox Series X and S are lagging far behind the Xbox One. According to the most recent data from Circana, after each platform's first 52 months in the market, PS5 unit sales exceed PS4's sales pace by 7%, while Xbox Series X and S combined now trail Xbox One by 19%. Microsoft, of course, takes a bigger picture view when it comes to determining the success of its gaming business. It looks to PC as a major growth area, is pushing its subscription service Game Pass across multiple devices, and is launching many of its Xbox games on rival consoles in a bid to boost its bottom line. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, for example, will hit PS5 soon, as will Forza Horizon 5. Doom: The Dark Ages, meanwhile, is set to launch on PS5 at the same time as PC and Xbox in May. There have been questions over whether Microsoft might call it a day for consoles as a result of the failure of the Xbox Series X and S, but the company was recently reported to have greenlit a next-gen Xbox for release in 2027, as well as a handheld during the same year. Time will tell. Moving on, Palworld has a big new update that adds crossplay across all platforms, among many other features. Update 0.5.0 also lets players store PAL data in the global PAL box and transfer PALs between worlds. A new storage system has 10 times the capacity of the regular PAL box. Not only can guild members access it, but it can be used as a personal storage with private settings. Elsewhere, you can now change your character's appearance without affecting armor stats. There's a photo mode, blueprint upgrading, and dedicated servers for Mac, among other changes detailed in the patch notes. Developer Pocket Pair said it's working on adding dedicated servers for the PlayStation 5 version and will release them at some point in the future. Palworld has had an incredible 32 million players since its early access launch in January last year. The studio has laid out a content roadmap for 2025 that looks fairly lengthy. Alongside crossplay, there's an ending scenario and even more content on the way for the hugely popular creature-catching survival game. For the full Palworld patch notes, hit up IGN.com. And finally today, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has come to dominate entertainment with this interconnected series of films and TV shows that all tie together to form a long-running, cohesive narrative. Marvel video games, however, do not exist in the same universe, telling stories entirely separate and unrelated to each other. But there was once an idea at Disney to create a Marvel gaming universe that would do for Marvel video games what the MCU went on to do for movies and TV shows. So what happened? Speaking on the Fourth Curtain podcast, host Alexander Serapian and guest Alex Irvine recalled this MGU idea, which both worked on, and revealed why it fell by the wayside. Serapian, perhaps best known as one of the founders of Halo and Destiny developer Bungie, went on to run Disney's video game business before leaving in 2012. Irvine was the long-running writer of Marvel games, most recently working on the world-building, dialogue, and character backstories for smash hit Marvel Rivals. Serapian explained that the MGU was his initiative, but it never got funded by the higher-ups at Disney. Irvine, who had worked on the iconic Halo alternate reality game I Love Bees while at Bungie, went into some detail on how this MGU would have worked. He said, "That was so frustrating because we came up with all these great ideas about how to do it. And I was coming out of ARGs at that point and thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we had some ARG aspects? There'd be a place where players could go that all the games touched, and we could move them back and forth from game to game. We could link in comics, we could loop in anything, and we could do original stuff." And then, as Alex said, it didn't get funded. But why did the MGU fail to get the internal buy-in to move forward? Irvine suggesting the idea became so complex it ended up putting some people at Disney off. He explained, "Even back then we were trying to figure out if there's going to be this MGU, how is it different from the comics? How is it different from the movies? How are we going to decide if it stays consistent?" And I think some of those questions got complex enough that there are people at Disney who didn't really want to deal with them. Alas, the MGU goes down as yet another scrapped video game possibility, although perhaps in another universe somewhere it is a reality. And that is your Daily Fix for Wednesday, March 19th. Now that you're caught up on the news, watch the trailer for that Palworld update. I'm Damon Hatfield, and for all your video game news, stay tuned to IGN.